So the things I did do off screen are not very difficult. All I did was just group and label some stuff. And if you're kind of curious how I decide how to group things, it's not too difficult, really. What I'll do is I'll kind of have things that are closest to me. For instance, this lighthouse is going to be higher up in the layer system, while the mountains in the background and the aqueduct are going to be further down the layer system. So if you're wondering how I do my layers, it's really foreground, background. That's how I set it up. So things that are far off in the distance or in the background, those are going to be, -5 to, maybe 0. While things in the foreground might be from 1 all the way to +5 being closest to you. So how I do my layers and how I group is not too difficult. So let's go ahead and make the foundations. And this is not too difficult. If we go into the catalog, and what's really nice is you can just scroll down and you can kind of see everything. And there should be something called classical empires. This is fantasy battle maps, my mistake. Let's go down, fantasy regional, classical empires. And I'll kind of just show all the assets so you can kind of see it again. It's basically a Roman and Greco-Roman kind of inspiration. You can see all kinds of fun stuff, and you'll see that there's some modular pieces here. We're going to use these modular pieces to make our foundation. So just kind of look all over all the pieces that you can use here, cliffs, everything that we used. And then we're going to use one of these right here, this dock platform. And the reason why I'm using this is because it seems to have some moss growing up on the side of it. And that makes sense to me, right? These islands, foundations for these islands are basically on the water. And so you would expect some like algae or maybe something to be growing along the side of it because it's constantly in contact with the water. So having some green there is a good choice. And what I'll do is I'm just going to scale it down to where it fits on the grid. Notice here that I have my grid, and I want to make sure that it's just a layer behind my lighthouse, but not above my lighthouse. So 0 is a good place. And I'll place the first one here like this, and then just copy paste like this. And I'll kind of line them up so they fit correctly. And then I can just go ahead and copy and paste these, and I'm just going to create the entire line going over each island like this. So I kind of piece it together like this. Copy, paste, do it again. Remember, these have to be all on the same layer for them to kind of layer properly. And then I'll copy and paste these two together like this. And it does look like I have to go a little bit more over the edge like this. Okay. So now that those are built, now I can go ahead and just copy and paste the whole thing like this, copy and paste again. And now I have this platform that kind of represents the foundations. And this way, when waves come in, they won't like wash out the buildings that are on top of here, right? As well as the wave breakers that we're going to be building out here. Those wave breakers will make sure that when a storm comes in, that those waves don't wash out a lot of the houses. Those wave breakers will break the waves and keep that kind of protected. So there's our first platform right here. And what I generally do is I'll just select the whole thing right now, make sure I have it all selected. What I'll do is I'll move it just to be sure, create group and call it platform or foundations, whichever one you want. Now what's really nice is it saves what you label something. So in here in this list, so I just go foundations and go to create, and I'll realign to make sure that it's on where the land is. And then again, same thing, I'll copy and paste these, add them on here, stack them up. Pretty easy stuff. There we go. And then I'll make sure I select all of them again. And this is going to be my next platform. G, and I'll just type in F, and then foundations should just show up. Create. Another foundation done. Great. And then we'll do the next one as well. Oopsie, I think I missed the third one. There we go. Copy, paste. And then copy, paste one more time. Another foundation done. Let's go ahead and select all of them. G, foundations. So much nicer than having to type in foundations every time, right? And then I should be able to copy and paste these pieces and place them on each one like this. And that way I do myself less work. And then I'll have to redo these ones by hands, these smaller islands. And all I have to do is just flip and rotate like this. And then I'll just place my pieces here. And if they're off a little bit, don't worry about it. You can always come back and just realign them. So let's go ahead and take it here, make sure I realign these. There we go. And then I can just copy and paste these. There we go. And then put the last one right here. There we go. Okay.